The film begins with Lena being interrogated. One of the scientists asks Lena how she managed to survive when she was inside the containment zone. She only had 2 weeks worth of ration with her, and she managed to stay alive for 4 months. The scientist asks about the others who went inside with her. Lena is unsure of how long she was inside the zone and can't remember anything. The scene shifts and we see Lena teaching biology classes at an institute. After her class, as she is about to leave the cafeteria, a colleague invites her to a get-together with friends. Lena declines, saying she has other plans. The colleague inquires more, and she says she has to paint her bedroom over the weekend. Her colleague reminds her that it's been a year, and that Lena should move on from her memories. But Lena refuses his invitation and takes her leave. When Lena returns home, we see her break down into sobs. The scene then shifts, and we see her painting her room. Her husband, Kane, suddenly enters their home, and upon seeing him, Lena is visibly shocked. She is speechless for a few moments, then starts crying and hugs him. Lena inquires as to where he has been for the past 12 months, and why is it that no one has heard about what happened to him and his unit all these years. She tells him that all these years she had been trying to contact everyone they knew to find out what happened to him, but there was no communication, and his fate was uncertain. But she had faith that he was alive. When her husband isn't forthcoming with any information, Lena asks if he was on some secret mission he can't talk about. Kane affirms that he was on a secret mission, but neither knows nor can tell anything else. Lena is perplexed about him not knowing about the mission. Lena then asks about the fate of his crew who went with him, and whether he will be called back for the mission. Kane answers that he doesn't know, and it doesn't matter. Even more concerned, Lena inquires about his amnesia and the whereabouts of his crew. Kane says that the only thing he remembers is that he was standing outside a room with an open door. He peeked into it, and when he saw Lena, he recognized her and walked inside. While he's talking, we see him gulp a glass of water, and when his lips part from the glass, there's blood in the water. Lena notices this and calls an ambulance to take him to the hospital. Kane starts vomiting blood. Suddenly, police cars arrive and prevent the ambulance from leaving. The police then pull Kane out of the ambulance and take him away. Lena screams, asking the police to let him go, but they inject her neck with some drug, rendering her unconscious. We then see Lena regain consciousness, finding herself in a cell. Lena vomits immediately upon waking up. A woman enters the room and tells Lena that it's just a hangover from the drug they gave her. Lena asks the woman about her identity and the whereabouts of her husband. The woman informs Lena that she is a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist answers that Lena used to be in the military for 7 years. Lena then asks the woman her intention again, and that she wants to speak with her lawyer, but the woman refuses. She then proceeds to ask Lena about the circumstances of her husband Kane's return, what exactly he told her about the mission, whether he contacted her while he was on the mission, or if he told her anything about the mission before leaving. Lena explains that Kane appeared randomly today and didn't contact her or tell her anything, neither during the mission nor on his return. The woman then introduces herself as Dr. Ventress and informs Lena that Kane is very ill with multiple organ failures. Lena asks if she can see Kane because she wants to help him. When Lena steps out onto the balcony of the building, she is astonished by the strange sight before her. Dr. Ventress explains that what she sees before her all began 3 years ago, when the scientists discovered some shimmering field around the lighthouse. Some wardens were sent to investigate what was beyond the shimmering field, but they never returned. The government decided to hide the event from the general population. Dr. Ventress further tells Lena that they even tried to penetrate the field by sea and land, using drones, people, and even animals, but nothing came back. She further tells Lena that the field's boundary has started to expand, and that they predict that it will cover the entire area where their lab is, in some time. The field may eventually cover cities, countries, entire continents, and possibly the world in the future. The conversation then shifts to their immediate situation. Dr. Ventress informs Lena that Kane might be dying, and that Lena can leave the facility if she wants to. But Lena tells her that she wants to stay here with Kane. Lena feels melancholic, reminiscing about the moments in life that she has spent with Kane. The scene then shifts to a girl named Anya approaching Lena and trying to initiate a conversation with her. Seeing Lena's somber mood, the girl introduces Lena to her group. While chatting, they reveal to Lena that they are planning to venture into the shimmering field the following week. This news leaves Lena in a state of shock. Soon after, Lena discovers that Dr. Ventress will also be a part of this team. She is informed that it is an all-scientist and all-women team this time. The previous mission consisted of a military team of men, and only one person returned. Now he is in a dying state. We then see Lena go to Kane's ward. She tells him that she has decided to go into the field and find out what happened to him. Lena then walks into Dr. Ventress's office and has a brief conversation with her. She tells her that she hasn't told the girls what her connection to Kane is, but she wants to join their team and go into the Shimmer with them. Dr. Ventress agrees to take Lena along. The scene then shifts to Lena, along with a group of women composed of Dr. Ventress, Cass Shepard, Josie Raddick, and Anya Thorensen, walking into the field. Lena wakes up in the camp and finds herself alone. When she goes outside, she talks to her team members, who have no memory of what has happened since the moment they entered the Shimmer. Her teammates inform Lena that any equipment that receives and sends signals is not working inside the field. They go through their resources and estimate that they've been inside the zone for 3 to 4 days, which shocks Lena. Dr. Ventress then urges them to move forward, as there is no point in wasting any more time at their initial campsite. As they continue their journey, we see them come across a fascinating sight, a single branch bearing different species of flowers. They are exploring these unusual phenomena when Rosie decides to explore a cabin. Once inside the cabin, we see something pull her in, and she falls into a tank of water. Lena rushes to rescue Josie. Dr. Ventress, Cass, Anya, and the others quickly join in to help. Together, they manage to pull Josie out of the water. As soon as they come out of the cabin, a large crocodile leaps from the house into a pond. The crew stands terrified as the crocodile emerges from the water and crawls toward them, with the intent to attack them. We see a brief struggle, which ends with Lena shooting the crocodile as it tries to approach them. When they examine the crocodile, they notice that its teeth are sharp, much like those of a shark. Then, the group connects the dots. They compare it with that mutated branch of flowers. After this encounter with the crocodile, they understand that everything here has undergone mutation and that every organism in this region has been formed through different mutations. Undeterred, they continue to move forward. The scene cuts back to Lena's interrogation, and we see Lena explaining to the interrogator that as they were progressing towards the lighthouse, everything started to become more and more challenging. It wasn't just hallucinations. Nightmarish mutations were real all around them. As beautiful as it was, they were equally dangerous. We then return to Lena and her team moving forward in a boat. Cass asks Lena where she learned to shoot so professionally, referring to how Lena had killed the crocodile. Lena explains that she spent 7 years in the military. Cass then shares that she had a daughter who passed away, and that Anya is an addict. Rosie engages in self-harm, and there is no one left for Ventress in this world. This is to tell her that everyone on this mission has lost everything, and none of them have anything left behind, trying to convince Lena to divulge her past. Later, they arrive at a place where they decide to investigate further. Cass reveals that this place used to be the Southern Reach headquarters of their research base, but the Shimmer has expanded and consumed it. As they explore the area, they encounter mutated organisms on the walls. Despite this, they venture inside. When they enter, they find bags and beds already set up, indicating that the military team sent before them had stayed there. They begin to explore the area, and Lena discovers a map with the names of previous soldiers crossed out. Dr. Ventress finds an SD card, and when Rosie puts the card in her camera, they witness Kane and other soldiers dissecting one of their comrades, revealing a moving, mysterious entity inside the soldier's abdomen. Kane is trying to show this in the video, but Anya abruptly stops it. After watching the video of Kane, Lena becomes sad and disturbed, and the entire team is filled with fear. Anya suggests that the previous military team that came here had gone insane. They continue to explore the area, and it leads them back to the location where the video was filmed. There, a wall covered in mutations greets them. Rosie expresses her desire to leave, but Dr. Ventress reminds them that they have no other way out, as it has been too long since they entered, and that it is their mission to investigate. Reluctantly, they decide to stay there. We then see Lena dreaming of the day Kane left for this mission, and wakes up to study the cell samples. Cass asks if she has found something, and Lena says she is still looking into it. She then goes to see Dr. Ventress, who is standing alone outside, and Dr. Ventress comments on how it was a good decision for Lena to have kept her relationship with Kane a secret, as it would have complicated the mission. Lena asks why Kane agreed to join the mission, and Dr. Ventress cryptically mentions that every person is self-destructive, hinting at problems in Lena and Kane's marriage. Suddenly, they hear a loud noise, and the team goes on high alert. Cass, Rosie, and Anya join them. There is an unknown creature causing chaos who breaches the fence and attacks Cass. Lena and the team attempt to rescue her, but the creature manages to seize her and takes her away. They wait throughout the darkness on high alert, till it's the morning hour. Rosie suggests that they should go back. Anya agrees with Rosie, and Dr. Ventress points out that they haven't even reached the lighthouse yet. Anya mentions that they have been attacked twice. Cass is missing, and they still don't know what happened to the previous team, who turned on each other. Dr. Ventress says that if the team wants to go back, they can go, but she will go to the lighthouse alone. Anya asks Lena whose side she is on, and Lena explains that she isn't taking sides, but believes they should go to the lighthouse. She argues that it has taken them 6 days to get to the location they are at now, and it will take just as long to return, and they don't know what problems they might face on their way back. Going toward the lighthouse is the safest option. Lena's reasoning convinces Anya, and they agree to go to the lighthouse. The scene cuts back to her interrogation, and we see Lena admit that she lied about the safety of going to the coast because she didn't want to return without investigating the lighthouse. She also reveals that she had learned about Dr. Ventress's cancer, which was the reason why she wasn't afraid, because she knew that time was running out for her. We return to the team, which is now moving forward. They find Cass's shoe on the path, leading them to believe that Cass might still be alive. While searching for Cass, Lena encounters beautiful yet bizarre mutations. She eventually finds Cass's dead body, and it saddens Lena deeply. They come across a house on the way. Dr. Ventress suggests they stay there for the day, because the coast is only 2 hours away from this point. Upon hearing this, Anya sits down, seemingly overcome with something. As they approach the house, they realize that the plants around them have human-like structures. Lena attempts to diagnose the plant, but can't figure them out. Rosie then explains that the radio waves they believed were blocked aren't blocked. They are refracted. Similarly, GPS signals can't penetrate the field because the light waves are scrambled. Rosie then mentions that the plants contain human Hox genes, which determine body structure. This means the plants have a human body structure because the Hox genes determine their structure. She explains that the shimmer acts like a prism, reflecting not only light and waves, but also human DNA, animal DNA, and their DNA. They enter the house and decide to stay there. Anya suddenly feels something inside her hand, and she hides it immediately, but Lena notices. The scene moves towards the night. Lena wakes up and collects her blood for research on her cells. She discovers mutation happening within her cells too. We then see Lena having a dream of the time she cheated on Kane with a colleague, and how Kane found out about her extramarital affair. When Lena is dreaming in her sleep, Anya approaches Lena and accuses her of lying. She attacks Lena, knocking her unconscious. When Lena wakes up, Anya has tied up Dr. Ventress, Rosie, and Lena out of fear, recalling the fate of the previous military team when they turned into mutants and resorted to violence. She is concerned that they might pose a similar threat to her. Anya also suspects that Kane is Lena's husband and believes that Lena is dangerous because she has discovered that Anya has developed mutations. As Anya is about to attack Lena, they hear a voice from outside, of Cass pleading for help. Anya rushes to assist Cass, but suddenly a terrifying noise fills the air. A few moments later, a menacing creature appears and staggers into the room as if blind. Lena cautions everyone not to react. The creature is about to target Rosie, but Anya, in her wounded state, drags herself to the room and shoots at the creature just as it is about to attack Rosie. As soon as the wounded creature is hit by gunfire, it immediately attacks Anya, fatally injuring her. The creature approaches Lena to attack her, but Rosie bravely confronts the creature and kills it, saving Lena. After this confrontation, Dr. Ventress decides to head to the lighthouse alone during the night, believing that staying means risking her life. She hopes to reach the lighthouse quickly and solve the mystery, so she sets off alone during the night. In the morning, Rosie sits in the garden, and Lena joins her. Rosie shares her unease about the fact that the creature had Cass's voice. She explains that Cass's mind became a part of the creature when she died. Rosie looks at her hand, suggesting that she doesn't want to fight against the shimmer. Saying this, she walks away and disappears, turning into a plant. We cut back again to the interrogation. The scientist asks Lena to explain how each of her crew members might have disappeared one by one, but she didn't. Lena replies that she had to come back, and she doesn't know what happened to all of them. The scene cuts back to the zone. We see Lena break down in tears as she is left alone. She walks along the coast, gradually making her way towards the lighthouse. When she finally arrives at the lighthouse, she finds numerous skeletons scattered outside on the beach. Inside the lighthouse, she discovers a seated skeleton and a camera. Lena plays the video from the camera and sees Kane in it. Kane is giving a confession, saying that he used to believe he was a human named Kane, but now he doesn't think he's the same person anymore. He says something is moving inside him, and he can't bear it anymore. He tells someone to close their eyes and leave. Then he starts counting down from 5 and detonates a bomb, killing himself. After the explosion, another Kane appears, and Lena realizes that the seated skeleton is also Kane's. There's a large hole in the ground inside the lighthouse, and Lena descends into it. Inside the hole, she encounters Dr. Ventress, who is talking to herself. Lena calls out to her, but Dr. Ventress turns to Lena and says she doesn't know what's inside her and what it wants, but it's growing, and its end will be annihilation. Then, Dr. Ventress is annihilated, and from her particles, a shimmering figure forms, resembling a human shape. A drop of blood from Lena's face falls onto the figure, and it starts taking on Lena's form. It attacks Lena, and Lena falls to the ground. The figure tries to mimic Lena's movements exactly. Lena tries to escape, but the figure grabs her and doesn't let her leave. It forces Lena to lose consciousness, and when Lena wakes up, the figure is still there, mirroring her every move. Lena grabs a live grenade from Kane's bag, hands it to the figure, and escapes from the lighthouse just before the grenade detonates, destroying the lighthouse from the inside. As the fire in the lighthouse intensifies, the organisms of the shimmering field also burn. We cut back to Lena's interrogation. The interrogator asks Lena if she thinks that being was an extraterrestrial or an alien. Lena answers in the affirmative, and he inquires about the form of this being, but Lena has no idea. They ask her what is it precisely that the being wanted when it attacked her. Lena replies that she doesn't think it wanted anything. It was just mirroring her, and it attacked Lena when Lena attacked it. The interrogator thinks that it came to the Earth with a specific goal in mind, and that it was mutating and destroying the environment of the Earth for it. Lena responds it wasn't destroying, it was changing what already exists, creating something new out of it. The interrogator then asks what is it precisely that it was creating. Again, Lena has no clue. The interrogator reveals to Lena that the government sent another team to the lighthouse a few hours ago, and everyone sent previously is now likely dead, including those she met. Lena inquires about Kane. A scientist informs her that once the shimmer vanished, Kane's vital signs improved, and he regained consciousness. He has been awake but quarantined since. Lena goes into a room where Kane is, and they exchange glances. Lena questions if it's Kane or someone else, but Kane has no idea. He then asks if she is Lena, and she falls silent. Finally, they hug, and there is a suggestion that both of them have mutated, and the movie ends.